Now, believe it or not, I don't like recording segments about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez because I don't much care for playing the game of the Ocasio-Cortez bump. That's why the video I did the other day was fairly neutral to positive in response to the media attacks against her. But I gotta say, she has so many gaffes, and she is extremely prominent with now over 4 million followers. You gotta call this stuff out. And this story from the Daily Caller, it's just the weather. Meteorologist fact-checks Ocasio-Cortez on climate change because there was a tornado warning in D.C. Cortez tried claiming that weather is climate change. I just want to stress something. We routinely, every so often see a conservative say, oh my God, it's so cold. Where's this climate change? And then scientists come out and say, cold weather is not what we're talking about. We're talking about changes in climate patterns. And now you have Cortez quite literally doing the same thing. Oh my God, a tornado warning? This must be climate change. You can't do this. You can't criticize conservatives for pointing to snow and then turn around and point to a thunderstorm. I get it, it was a tornado warning. I'm being hyperbolic. Bear with me. Here's the thing. This isn't partisan bickering. This is an actual meteorologist being like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold your horses. Now, before we get into this story, go to timcast.com/donate if you'd like to support my work. There's a monthly donation option, a cryptocurrency option, a physical address. But more importantly, you can just share this video on social media, click the like button, comment below, and subscribe because the interactions with the content tell YouTube it's worth watching and then they recommend it more. That really helps, does. But or you can hate me and by all means do none of those things. But let's just actually read the story. Democratic New York Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez suggested the tornado warning that hit the D.C. area Thursday was part of the climate crisis. She has previously said humanity only has 12 years left to solve. The climate crisis is real, y'all, Ocasio-Cortez said on Instagram Thursday. Guess we're at casual tornadoes in growing regions of the country? Oh, my God. Here's the thing. I am very pro-science. I recognize scientists aren't always right. I recognize that orthodox thought isn't always right, but I do have to defer to the experts, which is why if the IPCC and these other scientists overwhelmingly say this is an issue, I lean towards that. I understand their dissenting voices. Here's the issue. Ocasio-Cortez is playing into the same exact fallacy that they criticize conservatives for, okay? Can we please calm down a little bit and actually just develop cool technologies that are more efficient for energy production that could also simultaneously reduce carbon emissions? However, she was quickly fact-checked by meteorologist Ryan Moe, who pointed out that far from proof of a climate crisis, DC's tornado warning was, quote, just the weather. So this is actually hilarious. I got this tweet pulled up. I kid you not. He says, I thought this was fake, but it's from AOC's Instagram story. No idea what she means with casual tornadoes and how this line of severe thunderstorms is proof of any climate crisis. It's just the weather in DC. So let's read. I thought this was fake too. I was like, nah, this is a meme, right? Somebody made a fake post from Cortez because there's no way the queen of cow farts is going to be this wrong about climate change when she's proposing a massive government overhaul that would cost like $30 trillion. And there's no way she could propose that and then be this wrong. She said, well, that was something. Alarms went off in the building advising people to seek shelter. Apparently, the tornado moved/missed the city so quickly that they ended the warning shortly. And also, apparently, this is a thing that happens in the summer here with increasing intensity. The climate crisis is real, y'all. Tornado emoji. Guess we're at casual tornadoes in growing regions of the country. What? So Ryan fact checks her. He says, the congresswoman does not know the difference between weather and climate. Let's try an easy analogy. Weather is what outfit you wear heading out the door. Climate is your closet wardrobe. So let me try and address this. And let me say, firstly, why am I talking about this? I do believe that climate change is an issue. I defer to the scientists. And I understand majority and consensus is not fact, but it's the best we can do. And I do believe there are reasonable solutions that can work for conservatives and liberals. Renewable energy that stimulates the economy and reduces greenhouse gases. And that works for everybody, right? Here's the problem. Cortez is a doomsayer, waving her 12 years till the end of the world sign, talking about tornadoes wiping out DC, and it makes it impossible for rational, reasonable people to sit down and say, I understand, conservatives, you don't think this is as big an issue as the Democrats and the progressives have made it out to be. How about we just come to a solution that works for everybody? How about we invest in technology that's going to stimulate the economy, create jobs, and whether or not there's a climate crisis, it's going to benefit the economy and make us more internationally competitive. To the Democrats, there's your solution. Something that makes sense. Innovate, stimulate the economy, and also solve these problems. That's the right way to do it. But then Ocasio pops up behind me going, no, the end is nigh. Green New Deal, eliminate cow farts and shut the planes down. And I'm like, stop. We were so close to making ground on this. We were so close to sitting down and shaking hands across the aisle and saying, maybe there's something that works for everybody. And then Ocasio-Cortez repeatedly has these gaffes that just make everything seem nightmarishly stupid. Recently, there was a story, it was the other day, that Democrats, 2/3, believe that we do have 12 years before there's irreparable damage to the planet. That's fine. You want to believe that? Whatever. Some people don't believe it. The argument should not be whether or not one side is pro or anti-science. The argument should be, okay, great. If that's where your head is at, what can we do? Seriously, just ask that question. But coming out with this nonsense, look at this. She posted this on Instagram. Different parts of the country deal with different climate issues. In NYC, we deal with hurricanes, blizzards, floods, and heat waves. Heat waves hit us differently because a lot of most NYC buildings don't have central air, so they are life-threatening to the elderly, health risk, and disabled. Other regions deal with wildfires, tornadoes, droughts, etc., but all of these threats will be increasing in intensity as climate crisis grows and we fail to act appropriately. The point that Ryan is making, we'll go back to the Daily Caller. The climate is how different weather patterns affect different areas. Is there a drought? Is there a tornado? Is there a hurricane? Weather is, did it rain? Sometimes it rains. Was there a tornado? Sometimes there are tornadoes. Please stop with the doom saying. So it goes on. The story's actually quite long. The Washington, D.C. area was hit with a tornado warning Thursday afternoon. An intense but short-lived storm brought heavy rainfall and high winds. No tornado hit D.C., however. But the whole event was enough to inspire Cortez to post on Instagram. And then she reads they read the other tweet. The Green New Deal is Ocasio-Cortez's signature bill calling for net zero greenhouse gas emissions within 10 years and vastly expanding the federal welfare state. Ocasio-Cortez does not know the difference between weather and climate. So here's the issue. This is what blows my mind. Okay, we have 12 years, right? Is your solution then all or nothing? Why is it that they proposed the Green New Deal? Okay, it goes up for a vote. Republicans said let's put it up for a vote. They voted no. They voted present. There was not one, I believe not one person voted aye on that bill. If we've got 10 years left, you'd think someone would be like, no, let's just push it through. So here's their mentality. We've only got 12 years left before the end comes. But let's not work a deal with Republicans. How does that make sense? You'd think if they really believed it, they'd say, hey, we'll take whatever we can get. Right? Anything is better than nothing. In fact, if they take some action, you might buy yourself some time, but for some reason, that's not the game they're playing. The game they're playing is, nope, not one person will vote yes on our own bill. How does that make sense? Maybe it's because Ocasio-Cortez doesn't know what she's talking about and thinks tornadoes are casual and then meteorologists have to come out and criticize her. I like how they post a bunch of these photos. They go on to say Ocasio-Cortez did somewhat walk back her initial claims by apparently Googling around for information on tornadoes and global warming. She noted that tornadoes are challenging to tie to global warming. Oh, heavens. The freshman lawmaker, however, went on to note that we do know for sure that tornadoes have been changing. She cited a PBS article claiming that tornadoes are sliding into the Midwest and Southeast. But what does that actually mean? You can't just say something is changing in the climate, therefore global warming or climate change. That's not how it works. And this is what makes it so difficult. And this is why I think you can be a rational, reasonable centrist and say, we've got information and data. We don't know necessarily what it means, but let's mitigate some of this in a way that's good for everybody. Right? Do you disagree with me? I think what I say makes sense. Like, do something instead of, if you think the world is ending, you got to do something, right? Well, then ask the Republicans what they're willing to do. And we can do it right. We can make ourselves, look, we got to compete with China and they're expanding rapidly. So let's get on the energy game, man. How about some fusion power? Nuclear energy is good. The claim is based on a 2018 study, though it did not attribute eastward shifting tornadoes to global warming. That's that point. But researchers have long noted there are complications in trying to study long-term tornado trends. The reporting has been susceptible to changes in population density, modifications to reporting procedures, and training. The introduction of video and social media and so on, reads the 2017 National Climate Assessment, NCA. These have led to systematic non-meteorological biases in the long-term data record, the NCA reads. So please, I think that we can, this is a big issue, right? It's one of her core issues. Great. We can do it together. We can sit down and figure something out. As long as you're not coming out wiggling your arms in the air and shrieking about the end of the world, please. I'm going to end this segment here. I've got one more segment coming up just in a few minutes. Thanks for hanging around, and I will see you shortly.